Hey, Obante.
What's up?
So I sent you that diecast today.
Yeah. Supposed to been got my Roger diecast like 2 days ago, and I still haven't even received an update on none of that.
Yeah, waiting for merch can be pretty tough. You buy anything else recently?
No, the only thing I brought was my Roger diecast. That's it.
I got you. Did you hear about Home Field? You know they sponsoring the show for us this week.
Yeah, no.
Did you know that they were actually from Indianapolis? Ain't that in sort of your neck of the woods?
Yeah, like 4 hours away.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, they just launched that Hendrick Motorsports collection, and it's got a bunch of homages to Jimmy Johnson, Tim Richmond, and our boy Jeff Gordon, right?
Yeah, I saw that. That Joker that had looking kind of fire in that Jimmy Johnson shirt.
Right? I
Mm.
really need that jacket, like in the worst way.
Got that fire jacket on. I'm like, damn, that's heat.
Right? Like these are actually high quality designs. Like it's not any crappy Photoshop or anything like that.
Oh
So
yeah.
I need to get some. So while we're waiting to get started, why don't you go ahead over to the website and see you can get some. It's homefieldapparel.com and see that Hendrick Motorsports collection. All right.
Yeah.
And they even gave us a promo code so we can get a little bit off it. So if you use the code VLV24, you get 15% off the order. So you
Cool.
get a little bit of a discount.
They opened up a little small track in Danville called the Dixie Speedway, and they want to get some black drivers, and they thought they didn't know who to approach, so they went to the police department to find out what black guys had speeding records, things like that. So they told them they want somebody who could drive a race car to see me. So that's how I started racing.
As Matt told us earlier, trying to become the first African-American driver since Willie T. Ribbs and join Randy Bethea and the great Wendell Scott.
He did he drove the car exactly what the car wanted him to do. He got out early. It looked like a little tight, but he kept in the throttle and he got a good lap. And wow, way to go!
There you go.
Woo-hoo. That's it.
That man, Tony Schumacher, wins. He is the champion for an 8th time. But Antron Brown, if Tony Schumacher loses, becomes the first African American to win an NHRA title. 376. Antron Brown is the top fuel champion.
These need to be the best 7 laps of Darrell Wallace Jr.'s life.
That was a good first part of it right there.
Turn number 4. Darrell Wallace Jr. is going to get his first win in the Camping World Truck Series. His final time through 3 and 4. He's going to do it. Bubba Wallace wins at Kansas.
What they gonna say now, baby? Let's go!
Record is equals. Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
Get in there, Lewis. What a way to do it, mate. What a way to win your 7th world title.
Welcome to another episode of Victory Lane Vibes. We are your hostesses with the mostesses. I'm Jared. We have Bonte. We have Art. We have Kiana. We live after Bristol. We're going to have some raw emotions, some raw reactions. Y'all are going to love this episode because there was a lot of malfeasance that happened this weekend. Art, I think that, the thing we set up, the VLV hotline. I think somebody's calling in. I think somebody's using it. All right, hold on, y'all. We got to take this call. Hold on real quick. Victory Lane Vibes. This is Jared.
Surprise, surprise!
Oh
shit.
Lord.
You thought you got rid of me. Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, I've got a lot to say and not a short time to say it. It's like a long way to go and a short time to get there. But we're going to have to rename Spilled Milk to Thoughts from the Road because I had a lot of time to myself today and I'm pissed off about a lot of things. First and foremost, as far as the race goes today, anybody, I don't have a lot of time, so I gotta put this all together. Anybody that says it wasn't a good race needs their eyes checked. It was a fantastic race. Sometimes you need a shit show to clean the palate. If we didn't enjoy freak shows, the circus wouldn't have been in business for as long as it was. So it is what it is. It was great. I don't care what you have to say about it. Go pound sand. I know y'all gonna do 2311 corner. Ain't nothing to say about that except, horse turd. I don't know, man. It's cool that Bubba's been able to show that he can do what he needs to do. But it's just really frustrating that he continues to be a victim of really poor circumstances. And it's just after a while, it's kind of exhausting, but whatever. They'll go to Texas in 2 weeks because Coda's, I'm not expecting a whole lot, and hopefully they turn around there. But no, the main reason I wanted to get on here and complain, there's two actually, and one that just got added to the pallet. But the biggest thing is that these owners and these drivers, I guess, have selective memory, and there is this big rally right now for NASCAR to go back to high horsepower, which everybody wants and has wanted for a long time. And then you have folks like Chris Rice's goofy ass and Michael McDowell who are like, if we go back to high horsepower, the racing's going to be spread out again. Brother, I do not care. I absolutely don't care. Because for 5 years now, we've been watching Follow the Leader, all right? And it sucked ass, okay? It's been terrible. And so the only way we've had any legitimate excitement is it's either been a plate race or it's just been a race where it's just been a sorry for cussing so much, Art, because I know you have to put in the censors. But and for Michael McDowell to say that, I guess that's fair because the first 3/4 of his career to this point, when we had 900 horsepower, he was 38, 3 laps down, 40 laps into the race. So I guess he doesn't have fond memories of having a lot of horsepower, and that's fine. But no, look, some people may not remember this, but even when the cars are spread out and they're not handling good, the tires are wearing away, and you don't have the top 10 under a second half blanket, they always manage to find each other at the end, and that was what's important. And I think giving the drivers the tools to legitimately be able to pass and do what they need to do versus situations like Vegas a couple weeks ago where you have a guy that can't get around the other guy because he's being air blocked, which is just ridiculous. And so it's just I don't care if the field is spread out. I care that at the end you have a driver that's on 5 lap fresher tires and is really able to dig away at it and use that extra horsepower to get around the guy that's leading. That's what I care about. That's what the fans care about. And I think trying to turn it on its head to not upset NASCAR because NASCAR is a Manti Te'o joke in 2024 insensitive?
Oh, Lord.
Because they keep talking about new OEMs the same way Manti Te'o talked about a girlfriend. My sport governing body in Christ, it's not happening. If it was going to happen, it would have happened already. It's not happening. Give it up. And part of the reason it's not happening is because you dumbasses allowed this race team alliance situation where they have these charters that are worth $50 million now. So any new OEM has to spend $100 million to start a team. Haas and Alpine operate on a budget of less than $100 million in F1. And that's Premier Global. So what are you really saying? I don't know. You know what? I love this role. I love being the angry calling guy much more than I love being the podcast host. This is what I was born for. Some overweight trucker from the South calling you into a show and being pissed for no justifiable reason. Anyway, so that was the meat and potatoes of the rant that I had. The second part of what I have to complain about is something that I just saw. I don't mean to be preachy. I don't mean to ever use our platform to be preachy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody else does.
Right.
I think when you go through and you put together a podcast, right? You're starting a dialogue. That's all a podcast is, a dialogue. And it's how do we convey what we see in among fan interactions and on social media and on the internet, how do we convert that into a conversation that everybody can have, right? So, like, your job when you're part of a podcast is not to tell somebody who has a legitimate complaint to shut the right? That's very, like, that's very irresponsible and just downright toxic and ignorant. And I feel like if there's a certain party that's guilty of that, that ever, this ever gets back out to, fingers crossed, maybe they take away from it that maybe your way to, like, present yourself isn't by telling somebody who has a legitimate grievance. We're not going to name names or situation, but maybe not telling them, hey, that's your problem, and I'd rather you just not talk about it point blank period rather than let's have a dialogue. So anyway, that just happened, and I'm just like, man, you can't let that slide, bro. That's actually, pretty disgusting. But anyway, yeah, I'm about to go eat this dinner.
Send me some.
I have exhausted. No, absolutely not. I hope you starve.
That's crazy.
Vienna sausages for you, buddy.
Wow.
No. No. But in any case, I hope you guys have a wonderful episode. I cannot wait to listen to the whole thing because if it's anything like "Shut Up, Monte," like what the group chat was like today, it's gonna be lit. So if Art clips us in the front end of the episode, I advise anybody listening to listen to the whole thing because let's see, there's 4 of y'all. 3 of the 4 of us were pretty livid today in the group chat about a variety of things, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of very funny and hot takes. So I look forward to hearing it, and you should too. That's all I got to say. I'm finna go eat this ground turkey and rice.
We appreciate you.
Thank
before
you
I go to FedEx. Yeah, no, thank you guys. I don't know how the hell to get out of here. Let's see, did I do this? Yeah, hold on.
If you would like to be on the show, call the Victory Lane Vibes hotline, area code 919-322-9267, 919-322-9267. Give us your hot takes from the race. We're in rare form today. Like I said, this is literally directly after Bristol. So, oh boy.
Yep.
Well then, I guess we should get into it, huh?
Let's get it.
You have to.
We'll start with a more lighter note. We'll go back to yesterday, the truck race under the lights at Bristol. Cowboys sweep stage 1 and stage 2. I called it. Christian Ekins wins. Roger finishes 8th, getting yet another top 10. He's cooking. Truck race. What y'all think? How was it? Bonte, did you watch? Let's start with Bonte. Did you watch the truck race?
It was pretty decent.
All right, we'll go off then.
Was not chaotic as how it was an hour ago. Oh God. But just straightforward racing was actually some pretty good racing, not like just standing all in one line. So I get him that. It's probably the best truck race besides Vegas, but it was pretty decent. Raja, well, he was like having pit issues all race, but rebounding from an 8th place finish, it's a win in my book. And then Kyle and Christian was battling it out. But hey, that's truck races for y'all. Better than the Cup, respectfully.
All right, then.
Yeah, I'd agree that it was an entertaining race. It was really kind of a 2-horse battle for most of it between Eckes and Kyle. It was interesting seeing those two go toe to toe for so long during the race. Usually you have some cars start up at the front, and then usually one of the top 2 cars seems to fall off late in the race for whatever reason, with its track position, a bad adjustment, whatever. But we didn't get that. And so it was just really interesting to see how they managed their trucks throughout. Like Bonte mentioned, Raja having some bad luck and being able to rebound and salvage a top 10 out of that day. That's a great sign to me from a young driver with a young team. So that was something really positive. But honestly, outside of those 3, there wasn't a ton from the race that was memorable for me personally. Like it was Bristol. There was some moving. I'm not saying it was intense or boring, but it was one of those races that it kind of felt like a blur. And outside of, like I said, those three drivers, it really didn't hit too much for me. But those three made it interesting enough that I was entertained. I watched to the end. I was kind of rooting for Kyle to win there just because I enjoy watching him in the Truck Series. But I think it's always a good sign, and it's a good feather in the cap for the younger driver who can beat the longtime veteran that's coming down to that series. So, shout out to Eckes, and I'd give this a solid grade. I don't know, maybe a B plus race. But for the trucks, I guess actually I'm a grade on a curve, so that's like an A minus. So a solid race out of the trucks this week for me.
Kiana.
I thought it was pretty good. I came in, I had to drive like 500 miles yesterday, so I actually got back, I think, right near the end of stage 1, I want to say. But from what I saw, I mean, it was pretty good. And yeah, like Raj, even with all his issues, getting back in the race and still finishing top 10, like he's him. I'm sorry. That's my boy. Proud of him.
That's that boy.
It sure is. But I mean, I thought that was great. But yeah, I mean, I thought the racing overall was great. And compared to, again, the snooze fest we've had recently, it was nice to just have a race that was, at least entertaining. So, yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
So, is it just me, or should we sign Nick Sanchez up for boxing classes? He got yoked up again.
Yoked up again.
If you missed it, Stuart Friesen and Nick Sanchez were going at it after the race. I didn't see why they were at the cusp of fisticuffs, but we got to get Nick in the gym.
Right.
That's not a good look, my boy. You can't get your collar snatched up like that on national television for another time.
I mean, it was like Homer Simpson level yoked up. Like that wasn't.
Man,
he looked like Bart. I was like, okay, that's gonna be a meme for the rest of the season. I'm sure. That may not be the first or last time that happens.
I don't understand it. He needs some milk. All right, I think you're on mute if you're trying to add input.
I was. But I was going to say, we can, Nick, if you're listening, we'll give you some VLV sponsored lessons because I used to teach boxing back in the day. So, like, I help you out. Like, we so if they try to put the pause on you, bro, we're ready. Like, I teach you.
You got to bob and weave, baby. You got to bob and weave.
I'm just saying, like, you got to be quicker than them. If you're the smaller guy, you got to be quicker. And he doesn't pick fights with any small men. They're always like the big dudes on the roster. So if you're listening, give us a line, drop us a line. We'll help you out.
And another thing, and to that point as well, why doesn't NASCAR let the drivers like beat the hell out of each other? Like it's always seeming to be like security around. Did Ross really hit Noah that hard where security has to be there at a moment's notice? Like, we can't fight no more? They took the helmets off. They're not being Ty Gibbs. Like, what's up? Let them fight.
It's interesting. I feel like if you have the helmets on, you have a better shot of actually getting some kind of fisticuffs going. But like now it's like, as soon as the helmet's off, there's like 20 people that come in. And it's like, who are you people? Like, do you even work on the car? Like, are you just bodyguards in team shirts? Like,
how did you get here? Who'd you get your credentials from? Why are you here? You're in the way. I just whatever. So that was the truck race. And then today, what just happened? The Cup race. I just knew Ty Gibbs was going to win this race today. He was driving out of his mind, sweep stage 1 and stage 2, got some valuable stage points. And then I guess Denny just had to show he's the driver at Joe Gibbs. He is number 1, holds off his teammate Martin Truex Jr. and wins a tire-filled Bristol race. I'm going to just start off this piece saying this race was fantastic. This is what the people needed. We needed chaos. We needed tire management. We needed pebbles underneath the accelerator to not burn off your right rear. I couldn't have asked for a better Bristol race. Like I didn't care that the tires didn't wear in the track. It was awesome to see. I wish there was more chaos and more wrecks, but it's just a testament to show that Goodyear's trying to listen to us. I still want 900 horsepower, like Carl alluded to earlier in the episode. Horsepower will make me happy, and if you don't like it, go drive go karts because this is the Cup Series. This is the elite level of stock car racing. And if you can't handle power, then you driving the wrong way, Playboy. Um, but yeah, I like the race. We'll circle back more talking about Bristol. Arthur.
I feel like this race, I did enjoy it. I will say this, I was not bored. This was not a napper by any stretch. I wasn't sweating, but I was heated at the end of the race just because it was so intense. Um, to me, this race is kind of like, you ever see in like the mall or in the grocery store those giant cookie cakes? You know what I'm talking about? They'd be like the size of a pizza. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, those
Yep.
are the ones.
Right? So like I think of it's like that where this is something that's great and amazing, but we just had a bit too much of it, right? Like if I told you all you could eat for a week was giant cookie cake, you would say, "Well, that sounds great," but then you'd realize that something so delicious could make you feel sick, and it was just too much of a good thing is a bad thing. I really did enjoy the tire fall off. Uh, to a certain level. I definitely did not expect anything like this. I thought it was going to be closer to Phoenix. I think they just need to be able to find a way to get the tire to lay down rubber on the track. That was just the biggest thing. And it was just shredding so rapidly that they just have to find a way to just slightly slow down that rate. When you've got, half the field is shredding a tire 30 laps in, like that's a concern for me. But I did really love the challenge of it. The fact that you had to really, really manage your tires. And, Clint Boyer, to his credit, pointed out that at the end of the race, the top three was Denny, Truex, and Brad Kay, three veterans who have been around a long time, who raced in higher horsepower eras, and maybe just have that little bit of extra experience that a lot of the younger guys who started, let's say 2015 on, didn't really have that. So I love it. I just need them to do a little bit of fine tuning on it. I don't want wholesale changes. I like it to be closer to this than it was at previous Bristol races. But overall, it was really good. It was just a touch chaotic, too chaotic for me. Just a touch, like you just barely oversalted it, just a little bit for me. I did really like the audible to give an extra set of tires. I thought that was really smart. This isn't the first time, this isn't the first time this year that NASCAR has done an audible and made a change on the fly. Think back to earlier in the season rescheduling that race. I appreciate that Goodyear was kind of out in front of it and saying, this is what we did. This is what we didn't expect to happen. We need to figure out how to fix X, Y, and Z. I just like a little bit of transparency and at least like give me something, even if it sounds like empty platitudes, at least give me something as a takeaway versus just not answering the call from the media, from the fans, which NASCAR has done in the past. So those are all big positives for me. I'm excited to see what happens in the fall if this is going to be what we get at Bristol in a playoff race. I mean, who knows how crazy it would be. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I enjoyed seeing some of the cars like the Kaz Growlers up front that we normally don't see. Folks that just for every reason were able to really dial it in and overcome the craziness. And it did feel like a throwback race. But I just don't think we need, you know, seventh place back lapped. That's just a bit too far. Like if they could get it to where it's like 15th back is lapped, like that to me is like a good spot. Like to me, that's a nice sweet spot between the momentum based racing that we've had for the last couple of years versus the 70s, 80s, 90s racing, where folks could go out and lap the whole field at Darlington and win. So overall, though, really, really entertaining. I really enjoyed seeing Denny and Truex wheel it at the end. So overall, I give it a big plus. I think it probably is the best race out of the year. I think I would have to rank this over Atlanta at this point. So yeah, it was a great race.
54 lead changes, which was a record for short tracks. This race was fantastic. Kiana.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like it was a lot of great action, but it did start to feel like there was just too much going on at one point because it was just like everywhere you look, there was chaos, which is fine. I will take that because, like you said, we had a snoozer last week. I fell asleep during the Phoenix race. Like this race, I did not fall asleep. I wanted to be awake and watch the whole thing. Even though I was exhausted, I stayed up and watched the whole thing. So I was like, God, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know who's gonna take the lead. I don't know who's gonna wreck, had no idea what was going on. But that's what I like. I like races where I can't determine what's gonna happen, 200 laps in advance. Shouldn't be able to do that. And today was like a perfect example of the type of race that it could be. But yeah, I mean, it was like those last 50 laps. And I even tweeted, I was like, these last 50 laps are about to be comedy. And I was right, because it just went completely haywire. But, at the same time, it's still cool to just see people so engaged and everyone was so excited about what was happening compared to like last week when there was like, I feel like there was just no discussion last week. Like everybody was just like, this sucks. No excitement, nothing to really talk about, nothing to write home about. Total opposite this week. And that's what I wanted. So, kudos to them, because even with all the craziness, like I really still think we got a great race out of it. But yeah, it just kind of got really chaotic near the end, and I was just like, I felt like my head was spinning because I could not keep up with what was going on. But yeah, overall I think it was great, and it definitely lived up to my expectation of Bristol. Really surpassed it, because I didn't know what was going to happen, but this was great.
Bonte.
Chaotic as respectfully.
Come on, dog.
Hey, man, y'all doing it too. I don't hear it.
Bonte the real one.
I'm
Golly, bro.
chaotic.
I ain't cussing 3 weeks. What
Bonte
you
coming
mean?
in hot.
Apologize to Arthur.
No. Anyways, I ain't gonna lie. Like I agree with Jay on this one. As a fan perspective, F this race. But outside of that, it's fun. Race has been really fun to watch. It was so much chaotic action. Drivers barely hanging on to their cars because it's so loose. Because they got their tires are going. It's just hilarious. Then you seeing Danny and Truex running through the field because everybody was like barely hanging on. It's crazy. But I kind of want to get more of this in the fall Bristol race. Not really. But other than that, it was good, really good.
Now let me ask you a counter. Sorry, I was just gonna say, if your favorite driver had a better day, would you be more positive about this race?
I would. You can literally hear what I just said.
I'm just asking. No, I'm asking a
It'll
hypothetical.
literally be the same way. It'll literally be the same way.
So, but Bubba finished 6th, you'd be like, "Oh no, F this race. This sucks."
That's not his favorite driver.
Oh,
Shut the hell up.
dang.
It is.
Dang.
You see
My
how they do
bad.
me? Look, stop right there.
I said
Kiana,
Bubba.
Why y'all doing Bonte like that?
every time.
I asked a legitimate journalistic question. I said, if your favorite driver, I went to journalism school. If your favorite driver had a better day, I didn't name any names. I just said, if your favorite driver finished 6th, would your opinion of the race be different?
6th, it'll kind of be the same way.
Okay. I don't believe you, but okay.
Whatever, dog. Anyways, next topic.
See, at this point, I rate the races based on my fantasy lineup and how well it's doing today. I did pretty good, so I think I got first place in our league. So,
congratulations.
I picked in my household bets. I picked Denny, and so I won the day straight up. So I was very happy.
Congratulations, you played yourself. We don't care.
Wow. If you've got hate in your heart, let it out.
That's funny. That's so funny how no one will hear this in the final show. That's crazy, bro.
You see how dirty they be doing me?
That's so wild.
Who did I have? We should start. You know what? We should start talking about fantasy more often because I feel like we don't.
I was literally saying, like, we should do that.
Who did I have?
Us as a collective.
We
should.
We should have had a league.
So this week I can tell you I haven't pulled up. I picked Kyle, I picked Bell, and I picked Denny.
Trash.
And
I mean, you
picked Bell. Who would have thought?
I had to because my thing is, all right, so in our house, the rule is that you can only pick a certain driver a certain number of times in
Oh,
the
so it's like
year.
the
So
NASCAR.
sometimes you
Yeah.
got to burn a trash one. So like today I was just
Yeah.
burn a trash one. So
Oh
Ooh,
Lord.
because if you pick the winner, you win straight up. It doesn't
Such
matter. Like you can finish.
haters.
interesting.
So like thankfully, like the other two are kind of scrubs today, but
Such
Denny delivers. Denny
You would like
delivers.
the NASCAR one then, because that's pretty much how it is. But
I need to.
yeah, I did. I had McDowell, Elliott, Bell, Larson, and Denny, and then garage driver. I
McDowell
had
wasn't a bad
Blaney.
pick until he
He,
sold.
but he still
Yeah.
did pretty good. Like he technically did better than Blaney because I had to switch when Blaney went to the back, and I was like, oh god, I don't know what's gonna happen. I had to I like literally had 30 seconds to make a decision. So I put Blaney in the garage. So I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. But they pretty much got the same amount of points, so it didn't really make a huge difference. But yeah, I think I ended up winning. I beat Phil.
That.
Phil's mad I'm beating him every week. I'm sorry.
He be alright.
Sorry, not
Phil, you
sorry.
be alright.
Sometimes he be alright.
So we'll continue a discourse that we started last week in regards to the ticket prices for the races. So I don't know if y'all saw, but it went a damn soul at this rate. It looked real bad on TV. It was a lot of open
It was a
seats.
little sparse.
Yeah, it looked a little
sparse.
empty.
I'm just saying, I may have seen church cookouts with better attendance than today's race.
Oh,
so.
I mean,
for
a
sure.
church cookout. Hello.
That's not a good look. And we were talking before we started recording, and I think Kiana, you mentioned that the tickets they were 180 a piece for Bristol.
Yeah, for some. So if you were near like start finish line, especially up high, those were the most expensive ones. So yeah, they were running like 180 something.
You can go to Daytona 500 cheaper than that.
Right. And then like some of the other ones, like a little bit farther away from start finish, were about 150, 120, like, hovering around there. In the turns, they were about 130. But yeah, I mean, there's really nothing under like $100 that I could find. So even for just like a single seat, like I think the lowest price I've seen in the last couple weeks was like $105.
That's
so
disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad. Like my thing is that when you have tracks like Richmond who have a $25 general admission option, and then you come to this kind of tracking, there's really nothing like that unless you catch it right at the right time. That's kind of aggravating because I feel like with this fandom, you really need some sort of general admission, just something. Because there are some people who just want to come to a race and vibe. They're not really concerned about the view. You can see from pretty much every angle with Bristol. I mean, you can see a pretty good amount of the track from anywhere. So that's not really the issue. But if you just want to come to the race, hang out with your friends and vibe, like you shouldn't have to pay $100 each to do that, So, and I know some people got mad at me for whatever, saying that on Twitter, but kiss my butt. Anyway, really, I just want, in general, I just want people to like have options with these races. Like, yeah, if you want a really good seat near start finish, okay, yeah, you should pay a premium. I don't think 180 is really a good price for that. I don't
Too
think
much
it really
money.
makes sense. I mean, if you think about how much you have to pay to travel, if you have to travel, the hotels around that area can be very expensive. There was like an Econo Lodge going for like 300 something a night a month ago because there was nothing left.
Ew.
Right. And I mean, like 3-star, like it's
Hell
just
nah.
it's ridiculous. And so if people are gonna have to pay that much to travel, and then you got to pay $180 for a seat, like that, when you calculate all that, that's kind of crazy for that. Like I can't justify that. And I think the fans deserve better. And I think it just makes more sense if you have cheaper options for people, again, who just want to come to a race. Like they don't care about where they sit. They just want to sit, up high somewhere and like chill, or, if they want to be down low, whatever. If they just had some sort of like cheaper option somehow, like there's got to be a way to do it. Cause I think what Richmond has done is really cool. So I would love to see that at every track somehow. But, ownership, all that stuff factors into it too. So yeah, there's got to be a better way to do that and get people in seats.
Like it's crazy to that point. Bristol has a seating capacity of over 100,000 people. Jerry World,
Wow.
the Dallas Cowboys stadium, has the same seating capacity, over 100,000 people in there.
Wow.
Jerry Jones smart enough to have $30 general admission seats. You don't get no chair, but you get to be in there to rock out for $30. Like everybody's talking about like fans gatekeeping the sport. The track's gatekeeping the damn sport. Who the hell has $180 to sit at a racetrack, bro, for 4 hours? No, fam, that's not how this works. It looks so bad. It looks so bad.
And you got to also consider too, like, I love Bristol as a track, but I've never been there. But I wanted to go several years, and it's way out there in the middle of nowhere
Literally
in
the middle of
terms
nowhere.
of getting there. So it's not like I can fly into Richmond and like go to the track, or if I wanted to fly into Florida for Daytona, like you can't fly anywhere close to it and drive to it. You can only drive it, and like from where I live, it's like 9 hours. So like I don't think that product is good enough for me to drive 9 hours and then drop $300 a night for a hotel.
There's like no hotel. You really have to stay. Like, I know some people were staying in like Kingsport, and I mean, I've known people who will, do like Blacksburg, Radford, Roanoke, whatever, and just drive the like, hour and a half, 2 hours down there too, because they can't find anything near Bristol or, Johnson City. Like, there's places around there, but you're gonna have to drive a little bit to, get to the track, because everything around Bristol is already sold out, months in advance. So yeah, like the travel part is really what gets people. And some people said that, like replying to me today, is like, yeah, when you factor in the travel piece of it, and you got to pay $100, $150, $150 for a ticket too, and you don't even know what kind of race you're gonna get. Like, it's a little bit of a risk, but I mean, if you really love the race that much, you'll do it. But at the same time, I feel like there are some people who probably were like, I don't want to pay that much for that. Even though I want to go, I don't want to pay that much for that. And that's understandable.
Yeah. And I think you have to just look at the stands, right? Like, I don't know how anyone can see like those grandstands tonight and think like, oh, well, nothing's wrong. Now, yes, this race was very chaotic, and maybe that'll give this spring race next year a boost. Because I mean, we know the fall race is going to be well attended because it's a playoff race. Like, that's a big deal. But you can't fully expect to be able to replicate this. Like, this is the second case of lightning in a bottle for
and also
NASCAR.
on St. Patrick's Day. I mean, that was part of it too. Like, I'm sure some people, they were weighing their options between going to the race or just go to the bar and watch the race at the bar and get wasted. And it'll be substantially cheaper than, paying $100 some to go to the race. So that's probably
having to buy alcohol.
Yeah, right. And then having to buy alcohol. So I think that probably factored in it too. Is like, well, we can just go to a bar somewhere nearby and watch the race instead of going, I mean, it's just there's a lot of factors that I think went into this, but you can tell that the more expensive seats were most of the ones that were left, because all the cheaper seats, down low, they were well, almost full. But yeah, like there's got to be a better way to create that pricing structure. I really think they need to go back and do some work on that.
Amen. Yeah, sorry, I had to do that discourse. Man, I just saw Sarah tweet something, but I'll save that for later. I guess we'll do 2311 corner. Tyler never had a chance. Car unloaded bad, qualified bad. Then he got wrecked. Bad.
Got wrecked
okay.
early.
Now, Zane Smith, hold on.
Now we gotta save our reservation for Zane Smith, because we got another segment coming that everybody knows and loves. And he on the list. I promise you, he on the list.
Oh, I know he is.
But and then y'all can't see me. I'm back with the Lido Scare, Lido Supremacy Weekend, or so I thought. Bubba qualified fantastic. The car looked really good. He ran up front. Booty sent it on the two tires, and I was like, oh yeah, we got some. We cooking. Then he went for 2 tires again in stage 2. We got stage 4. He's like, yeah, we cooking. We here. And then to the aforementioned failures of Goodyear, Bubba succumbed to a flat tire which left him limping it to the pits. They could not jack the car. He finished the race 3 laps down, 1 spot in front of Tyler Reddick. So, in my opinion, 2311 ain't having a good day. Before I learned that he had a flat tire, I was about to jump all over the pit crew. Now knowing he had a flat tire, I can't jump all over the pit crew. But I can say this. If you know that the tire wear was nothing that any of the 37 teams that came to the racetrack today prepared for, and you know just about how long is too long on the damn tires, pit the car. You shouldn't ruin your race after bouncing back and getting back into contention over a flat tire. I understand and realize that it's better to leave him out there and limp it. Understand and realize that you don't want to be the caution, but you don't want to also have a flat tire, knowing that this next jar doesn't like that, knowing that it doesn't like driving on flats, knowing that you're damaging the diffuse and all the other stuff underneath if it gets a flat tire. As we learned with Coda last year, the car just like the car hates it. So hopefully, if we bring this tire to Richmond, we pay attention to the cording and the things. So we bring the car back in and give ourselves a fighting chance. I hate that Bubba had speed. The pit crew were doing their best, and we still leave with a crappy result. Points update, I think he's 18th, so he's 2 spots under the cut line. So we got to cook next week at Coda, but I'll save that. Like I said, we got more to talk about. But that's my viewpoints on 2311 corner. Tyler never had a shot, and Booty shot Bubba in the tire. And yeah. And then to add insult to injury, then I'll let somebody else speak. Bowie got interviewed by French Stretch, and he was like, yeah, the difference makers are, how you conserve the tires. And in the background of the interview, Booty was there just chilling, and he was hearing this interview being conducted. And I was like, oh my God, that's really embarrassing. Like, he's talking about you, dog. Like, the company man, like the new guy, Kamui.
Well, sometimes you need outside perspective. That's it.
Goodness gracious, like he got cooked fresh out the car, fresh off the pit box, cooked. He didn't even get a chance to go to the competition meeting tomorrow. He got served up like dinner. But yeah, that's my piece on 2311. All right,
I'll go first. Man, yeah, this was a brutal weekend for the team. Yeah, Tyler just never got the starting blocks, right? Like, it was 20, 30 laps in, he's getting wrecked and banged out early in the race. Like, that just was brutal. And I'm actually surprised that car kept going. I really thought they were going to park it. But he finished the race. I don't know how many laps down it was. Might have been 7, 8 laps or something like that. And then, yeah, for Bubba, like, it seemed like a lot of the middle of the race they were just riding. So they'd be somewhere in like 7th to 15th, somewhere in that range. And based off the radio that I read on Twitter, shout out Sarah, shout out Phil, it seemed like they were kind of just riding around, trying to make the tires last, whatever, which is fine. They got some stage points, which is great. We talked about it before last year. It was brutal with the stage points. So that was great. But then, yeah, that call at the end just to hang out longer than they needed to was just a backbreaker, man, because they were, I want to say, in the top 10 when the green flag started to cycle.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so like they had a chance at a really good finish, and there was a tweet that Bubba said, I think we have a top 5 car, we just have to lock in. And they did not lock in. They locked right out. They locked themselves out of a lot of points. They locked themselves out of being inside the playoff bubble. It's just a really, really frustrating race. And I think Bristol is a track that Bubba can run well at. We've seen him run well at. He hasn't had a win here, like a Martinsville or Kansas. But like, that's a track I feel like the driver's performance this week was much better than the finish shown. And I'm sure there's every single week, there's dozens of guys who have situations like that. But it was just really, really frustrating. And I'm just starting to think there's some bad juju. Like there's not the feng shui isn't right there. The vibes in airspeed aren't copacetic right now. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if Denny needs to lock them in a room and have the milk and cookies meeting or what, but like they need to have some kind of come to Jesus meeting, and like everyone just needs to gather all their shit up and get it together, because it's just been a really, really frustrating season after those first 2 races. And if it's not one thing, if it's not a pit road issue, it's a setup issue or a call, or if there's driver error, whatever. But it's just really, really frustrating to see them not execute. And I think we all believe that there's the potential to be a playoff racer again, to contend for wins, to have the season that we believe that team is capable of doing. But they have just not shown any evidence outside of Atlanta and Daytona that they can execute it yet, right? Like, potential is one thing, but execution is something completely different. And so I really want to see them have just a solid day next week. We're going to Coda. And Bubba actually I remember, like, this is, looking for silver linings, but he had a really good run at Coda in the Xfinity car. He had that Dr. Pepper car and had a really good run until I think the wheel came off or something mechanical happened. They had to retire the car. But I just need a solid day. Like, just give me a top 15. Like, just that's all I'm asking for. For like Bubba at road courses right now, like a top 15 is all I need. Like, just stop the hemorrhaging of bleeding, and let's just get this back on track. Go to Texas, 1.5 miles. That's his bread and butter. It's just rough. So yeah, very frustrating at the end too, because they had survived for so long and run well and been in the top 5 and led early in the race. The two-tire call stop was great. So yeah, just really frustrating day. For Tyler, I feel like hell, he'll probably win Coda anyway. So like, I'm really not too worried for him again.
I was just about to say, yeah, I feel like Tyler will probably make his comeback with Coda, so I'm not like terribly worried about him. But yeah, I agree. It was so nice seeing that Lato's car in first place for a little bit, though. I gotta say, it was beautiful.
So damn pretty, man.
It was beautiful. I had to wave
man.
the shirt. I had to do it North Carolina style for a little bit, because that was just that was the moment. But I mean, hey, that's my car. But no, it was a bummer that it couldn't have a better finish, because it did look like they were cooking and then it just fell apart. But I'm hoping Tyler will get his moment at least next week, because I know he's been really bummed out about stuff, and I feel like today definitely will not help. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But if Bubba can get a good finish at Coda, I'll feel a lot more confident, because I know, of course, road courses we know have been historically difficult for his team. So I would like to see some improvement on that, and I'm hoping that he's gained a little confidence from the end of last season, and that will translate into next week. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens, especially since Kamui was there tonight. I really want to know what he's going to say the rest of this week, and maybe he'll give them some knowledge in the meetings this week. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, today sucked.
I swear you start all your segments
Shut
off
it.
with negativity.
Shut it.
Just
Shut
for
it.
reaction.
Look, he got a point, but he's got a point.
This is the classic case of
he's out of line, but he's right.
Exactly. Out of pocket, but you're right.
For me. No.
Go ahead, Bate.
Today sucked. Like, it really sucked. I feel like Tyler didn't even have a chance. I felt bad for him, because hey, he had to leave for a little bit till that happened. Bubba just doing his best out there. Just that. What was the reason for y'all to leave him out so long? Y'all ruined the race. Y'all ruined the race by doing that. I got to do better with the strategy stuff, because I don't know what strategy y'all been doing, because like the last couple races strategy y'all been doing last year has been ass. I'm sorry, it has been very ass. It's not like, come on now. Hopefully Coda will be good to us. I hope so. Tyler, I'm not worried about Tyler, because Tyler and Coda have always been really well. if Bubba can manage to get like I said, a top 15, as win my book. If he never be again like a top 10, I'll be gigantically surprised. At Coda, I'm like, cool, but hopefully next week they get a good day. Yeah, just sucked.
And one more thing. I am sick and tired of seeing these supposed Bubba fans being regretful or being dismissive because there's a road course on the schedule next. Y'all know that he's gotten way fast at road courses, right? You realize that he ran top 5 speed at the Roval,
He's
right?
gonna be better. We just want to
Like
see.
you
We want to see
realize that,
consistency.
right? You realize that this man has been in the lab. Go ahead. What you say, Bonte? People don't understand
I
what.
said people don't understand. Like, bro, cooked that Watkins Glen at the Roval, so
Yeah.
I can see why not he'll cook at Coda. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
He even cooked that at Daytona
However,
road
I do
course in
want
the
to see
Mission
how it
Challenge.
is in this new car.
Right.
That's what I really want to see. So it's gonna be interesting. But I'm hoping that, like I said, I hope his confidence from last season translates into this season, because you could see he was thinking more, he was taking it more seriously. I think he will cook as long as he just sticks to that plan. So that's what I want to see. I want to see that he's like stuck to that plan. He's ready. Like that I'm watching because I need him to cook on road courses this year, because that's literally the only other piece of the puzzle that was kind of missing for him. And so if he really can just like button that up and start cooking with that, he's unstoppable at that point.
Agreed.
So
Yeah, I would say like I have optimism for him at road courses this year based off of last season's improvements, but I need a year of those kind of results for me to feel confident. Like I'm not a Debbie Downer to say like, oh God, like he's at a road course, like pack it in, we're finishing 36. Like I'm not like that at all. But I just need to see a full season of just like consistently running well. Like if you're running, I don't know, eighth and you get dumped in the last corner and you finish 28th, like that's not your fault, but you were running well. Like I just need to see
yeah.
that continued growth for me to feel confident, be like, all right, yeah. Because like right now, if you ask me, we're going to Charlotte for the Coke 600, or Kansas or Texas or like these other mile and a halves, or like a Martinsville, like those are tracks for Bubba that I feel confident. I
Right.
feel like, oh yeah, he can definitely go into this place and execute well. Like it fits his driving style. We know he has the skill to run there. And with the roads courses, it seems like it's coming. But I just need, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I needed you to show me for one full season for me to be like, all right, my guy, like you're locked in. Like this is exactly what you need to do
Mm-hmm.
um, in order for me to feel that confident. But it's leaps and bounds better. Like I'm not trying to
Oh yeah.
downplay his improvements at all. Like I am so happy that he's gotten to the point where he is now, and having that Watkins Glen performance and then that Roval performance as well, even though Roval didn't end how we would have liked to, but still, like the growth is there. Like anyone with eyes can see that that was a big improvement from how he was in the past. So, if everything goes his way, hopefully there's some chaos around him as well to help. But like I said, feeling good about it, I think is a big step up. But I still just need a little bit more from him just to feel like, oh yeah, he's got this. This is going to be a good week for him.
Yeah. And I mean, when you think about it, especially at the Roval, I mean, he almost had that. If Daniel Suarez hadn't ruined his day, he was very close to moving on. And
He was
so,
there.
yeah, he
We
was
had it.
there. And I mean,
We
we
could
was in
sniff
the
it.
stands just going crazy. He was like, oh my God, he's actually going to do this. And then Daniel ruined it. So I can't even fault him for that.
It's crazy because bro was literally fast all weekend during that race.
Yep.
Practice top of the board. P3, best start in the road course ever in Cup. And then not only that, he executed pretty well into the whole Daniel Suarez issue, but he did came
Mhm.
he did came at the finish 16th.
Yeah. So yeah, even with that, he still didn't finish like terribly. So yeah,
Nope.
I really do think that he's making the improvements necessary to be better. So this is really the first test of that, and also in the new car. So I'm interested to see how he does, but I'm really hoping he will cook, because that would be awesome, and I think that will help him build a little more confidence on top of everything he's already done this season. So
Which there's no surprise that Kamui gets his first shot back in the card. Shout out to the money team, by the way. Shout out Floyd Mayweather. Thanks for letting Mobile One borrow the 50 for their 50th anniversary. Mobile One,
yeah, that's dope.
your efforts do not go unnoticed. We appreciate you.
Wait a minute.
And apparently there's what?
My bad, Jared, for cutting you off. We get two more. We get two more. We get two more Mobile One skins this week too. Bubba and yeah.
Oh yeah, Bubba got Pegasus this weekend.
Yep.
I need to wear my shirt. I got one of them too.
Looking forward to it.
Playing my next fit. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because you see a lot of grumblings and rumblings on this Twitter space sometimes. Talking about some Bubba ain't got it, but Toyota put him in the pilot challenge, and he was fast. It was sad that he didn't. He was 48 seconds short of not getting disqualified, but while he had his time in the car, he was cooking. Let's move on to something fun. It's time for Lights Too Bright.
No, get those lights off. Off. Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights.
All right. I got two. First off, I'm gonna give the first light that's too bright to my man Peepo. Hey dog, I'm sure them endurance racing cars got mirrors, bro. You weren't clear. You were not clear. Not by no, you were nowhere close, sir. And he left his car and Sebring. Oh god,
that was
the dude came out the RV like, what are you doing? Like hands in the air, like, are you serious? You're ruining my vibes. I'm trying to cook my sausages right here on my grill, and you want to flip your car, bringing all this heat over here. You sir, I need you to go back in the sim and rewatch that tape and use your mirrors next time. Do we need to put blind spot monitoring on race cars? Because I don't know about that, brother. You woo. And then my second one goes to Zane Smith. Hey, dog. You and Austin Dillon, did y'all share tea this weekend about how to not find the brake pedal? Because, my God, I saw Tyler. I could have missed Tyler. The brake pedal was right there. You ran right into him. You murdered him and your car. What are you doing? Do you need to go back to driving trucks? This is outrageous. Those are my lights too bright.
He said, you get extra points if you hit the car, right?
We're not playing Sonic.
You get those 2x bonus if you hit them right in the door. Just missed it. I'll go next. I'll say my light's too bright. Honestly, it's probably Kyle Busch and his pit crew again. Because them boys struggling and they making line changes like a hockey team right now. It seems like every week I look and they done shuffled somebody new, and this week they had the old Jackman back and like a new front tire carrier, and they were still messing up. And I mean, I'm sure they're trying their best. Like, I'm never going to disparage these folks' efforts because I'm sure, one, they can do it way better than I ever can. So I'm not gonna crap on them too badly. But every week, man, like they are going through some kind of issue. And then I don't know what it was. You would think for Kyle being such a veteran that he is and being so dominant and like everything he gets into, look at all these, NASCAR wins. And he was driving out there like it was his third day on the job, like just spinning out, just struggling. And I get everybody struggled to some level. Like nobody expected it to be the race that it was, right? Like nobody. But I feel like in the first stage, he spun about 2-3 times. At one point, he's going backwards down the front stretch, whipping it around. Jay turning it in turn 2. Like, bro, like what is happening? What is going on over there? And like he finished 25th, which is kind of a miracle in itself. I honestly thought he would have finished like 34th or something, just because that car seemed to always be in trouble or have a penalty or whatever. But I just don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what they feeding them boys in that shop or what, but like they got to get it together, man, because it's been about 4 weeks, I feel like, straight with a penalty for them on pit road, or just a crap setup, or just the inability to adjust or whatever. And I mean, I don't think he's in danger of missing the playoffs, but I'm just saying that team is not performing up to playoff standards at this time. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to throw that out there and hot take that he's not going to make it, but I'm just saying, like, y'all got to turn around anytime now. Like, the season's on. Like, we're past Daytona. We're a month in. So they get my lights too bright.
Well, y'all know who I really want to give it to, but I'm not going to give them any airtime. We'll just leave it at that.
Talk to him.
No,
I
talk to
don't
him.
even need to say because y'all know who, but you know,
man.
we
too
just gonna
classy
leave that
over
at that.
here.
Oh man, we classy over here, bro. We classy.
I ain't worried about it, but
High tier podcast.
We got you. We got you. We got you.
I know, and I appreciate y'all for having my back. I do. That's
Oh
why I
yeah,
love y'all.
without a doubt, we got you.
But yeah, God, Zane, that was the visual of Zane just like plowing through Tyler. I had to rewind my TV and watch that because I was like, there's no way
Terrible.
that you literally had like a good you had time to decide you just gonna plow right through. Go low and plow right through. Oh God, that's embarrassing. I mean, it really was like Austin Dillon level embarrassing, if not worse. Like that's worse than what Austin Dillon did last week. So I don't know. That was that was pretty bad. But I do feel bad for Kyle Busch's team. I'm like, as someone who loves Kyle, like it is disappointing to me to see him struggling like this every week. Like I can't figure it out. And I mean, I can't figure it out, but it's just for him, and especially for someone like him and a driver of his caliber, like that's extremely frustrating. So I feel bad for him and I feel bad for his fans, but like that team has got to figure it out and they really need to just do a full reset and get back on track because it's not looking good for them this season. That's just my 2 cents on that. But yeah, I don't know how they can be saved at this point because they keep switching crew members and switching, and it's not giving them any different results. So that to me tells me there's an operational issue that needs to be resolved. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
My light's too bright. It goes to Art and Jared.
What?
I'm playing.
Everyone go on mute.
Wait a minute, plot twist.
I'm playing, y'all. I'm playing. No, for real.
No, you're not.
Oh, I am.
You
shut up.
Stand on business. Stay with your back straight.
Oh my God.
All right, bro. Zane Smith, like, bruh, like I'm like, Zane, you my guy and all, but damn, bruh, use your brakes. Spinning every time involving the wreck. Hit to wreck. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then my other lights too bright. Who can I get this to?
You only got one, so you're good.
Well, I got two. Joey Logano, again. It's his fault.
You know what? I agree with that.
Joey Logano.
He was driving. He was doing his usual menace stuff today.
It's like, bro, you held up other drivers. You don't have a fast car and all. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, he started dropping like a brick.
Right.
I got Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Were you good?
No, you didn't.
I legit didn't mean to.
No, you didn't.
You off. I'm sorry.
That's a lie.
Okay, I had one more I wanted to go back to before we moved on. And my light's too bright is for Todd Gilliland because boy, what were you doing,
man?
It's stage 3. Like, good Lord, the 38 car gonna block Denny and Truex with like a tire going down, about caused the big one. With like 20 cars behind him. My God, I've never seen such bad blocking like that. I want to apologize to Joey Logano for my criticism for his blocks because those were it was so, I was screaming at my TV. What are you doing? Like, I understand, like, trying to stay on the lead lap or whatever. But, dude, you're going like 45 miles an hour slower than him down the straights, bro. Like, just pick a lane and pray. Like, he literally blocked one and then went high to block the other. I just lost my shit. I could not believe he was doing that. Like, that is, to me, is such a panicked lights too bright. Dude, like get better, bro. Like just be better. That ruined. I'm not gonna say it ruined my respect for him because I didn't really care much about that car, but I was like, my lord, what are you doing out here?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Okay. Well, Coda's next. All three series will be at Coda. We're driving some lefts and some rights. Let's do our Coda predictions. So for me, I have Corey Haim winning the truck race. I'm gonna put my faith and earnest into that number one Xfinity car, Arthur. I think
Sam
your boy is
Meyer.
due for a comeback. I think Sam Mayer gets it done. I think he
Boy
finally
Mayer.
finishes a race this season and he wins.
I hope
God, I
so.
hope so.
I really hope
Growing
so.
on me. Cool. Wisconsin
He
boy
said
is
that
my
in
boy.
unison. So like that means that it's serious business. I hope he gets it done. He's fast on road courses and
Yeah.
he needs this or else Junior's gonna kick him out.
Dang.
Oh damn,
You ain't say all
And
that.
then
that bad?
hey,
Gee,
you see who filled in the 88. It's not for show. I promise you that.
Oh.
Trial season started early. And then for Cup, you see another watermelon smashing. Ross Chastain wins at Coda.
Ross Chastain.
I know I gave Bonte grief last week, but there was more violence between him and Ryan Blaney today. I didn't get to hear the story behind it, so I didn't bring it up until now. But there's beef between them two, so I think Ross will go ahead
good.
and scoot away
I could
from
definitely see
Blaney, and
Ross winning
he'll
Coda.
get a sticker. So those are my picks.
I'm gonna go. So for trucks, let me go with Nick Sanchez. So I'm gonna do that.
Well,
I know, right? Xfinity,
Catch a dub, catch a fade.
right? Xfinity, get my boy Sammy Smith that dub, and for Cup, I'm actually going to choose Ryan Blaney.
Okay.
hmm.
Interesting pick.
Yeah.
Not bad, just interesting.
Yeah, of course you say interesting. Anyways, you go.
God damn,
I'm
bro.
playing.
Like,
I'm
I
playing.
can't say nothing around here, man.
Love you, dog.
Always in their feelings on the timeline in the pod. No, I'm playing. All right. Every week you make me pick for these truck race drivers, and I don't know. I don't know why Jared
Say a
makes us do
name.
this.
You be honest.
I'm a pick. I'll pick Heim because why not? Corey Heim. I mean, like, I don't know enough about, and I know we have a NASCAR podcast, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and BS the people. Like,
So I
I
can
know every
I'll
fact.
tell you my thought process as to why I chose him. So Zane
You
Smith
pick,
won the truck race last year at Coda. He's in Cup. Kyle
yeah.
Busch finished second at that race. I don't know if he's running. And Corey finished third. So I'm like, okay, if your op's gone, obviously you got to win. So boom, easy pick.
Easy pick. All right, I see that. That makes sense. I'll go with Eckes to go back to back. I based that on absolutely
That's a good
nothing.
pick. That's a good pick.
Absolutely nothing. So if any of you go out there and put money on him because you listen to this show, just know I based that on absolutely nothing. I just want to be transparent. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. In Xfinity, I'm gonna go AJ. I mean, he's been that dude. Although, you know what? I take that back, actually. I'm going to go with my boy, my Aussie angel, Shane Van Gisbergen. That's what I'm picking.
Hell yeah.
My
Shit, I forgot
boy,
about him.
Shane.
I was waiting on one of y'all to say it because I was gonna say it.
That's who I'm going to go with. As
The
I'm
king
looking
is
at this
here.
list right here, like, this is, he up here rubbing his hands like Birdman. He ready. He
It's
ready.
time, baby. It's time.
So,
That's a
yeah,
fire
I'm
pick.
gonna say Shane gets it done, gets that first Xfinity dub, locks himself in the playoffs for Xfinity.
You know, if
That's
he
my pick.
wins, it's gonna be an ass whipping, right?
I'm
you know,
fine
like
with that.
he's gonna win by like 20
Good.
seconds. It's
And
gonna be like
everybody else
Max
stepped up their
Verstappen.
game. Good. That's what we want.
Yeah, I kind of don't mind a dog walking in the lower series like that. I'm okay with
Them
that.
dogs gonna get walked. Don't let him
I'm fine
get the
with
pole.
that.
He gone.
And then for my cup pick, I'm kind of going back and forth between two, but I guess I'll go with Reddick. I feel like he's gonna drive pissed off and he's probably had a chip on his shoulder the last couple of weeks. So I'm gonna say the pit crew stays out of the way enough for him to get it done. So I'll say Tyler.
Okay. Kiana.
Trucks I'm not really sure about. I think that's gonna be interesting because we've got got some new people in there who might be pretty good, so maybe they'll shake it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Xfinity, I know Shane is gonna cook. Long as now, here's the caveat to that: can Call it get their stuff together so that he can cook? That's my worry. I'm really worried that they're gonna lose that race for him, and I'm gonna riot if they do. So that's just my worry with that right now. I think he can absolutely do it, but I need his crew to help him win that. And right now I don't feel confident that they will. Just saying.
About that.
For Cup, I want Tyler to win, just again because I think he's really just had a frustrating run for the last few races, and I think he's gonna be fed up enough that he's just gonna send it. And so if that's the time for him to do it, I think that would be a great way to get him back on track and get his confidence back on track. And I know he's confident, but I just feel like after what's happened, he's just really frustrated. So yeah, I would like to see him cook at Coda just to get him back on track.
A 2311 pit cruise. I hope y'all gonna be outside tomorrow, not doing the mannequin challenge, but actually practicing your pit stops.
For real. Because what the hell was that?
Airspeed, we won't see some speed.
As we learned today, it doesn't matter how fast they make the car at airspeed. If your pit crew struggling, that's why we here. What we doing it for? Just I hope y'all make y'all do suicides when you get back to the shop tomorrow. Hope y'all make y'all run like we in 5th grade when you was bad. Run some suicides.
This is how I know that I am not mature enough yet to be a business owner, because if I had millions and millions of dollars put into something and y'all weren't doing the one thing I needed you to do, some shit would be getting cut, bro. Like them lockers may not be available, like that smoothie machine in the cafeteria, fresh out of ice, bro. I don't know, like you can run out of some of these amenities.
See that
like
bagel
airspeed
machine?
gonna get
Ain't no more bagels.
Airspeed about to get a little bit slower, like I'd be like, I'm gonna need some solid stuff. I need a solid day with no mistakes before y'all get some of these privileges back. Like that gym might be closed by the time you get off your shift. Like I don't know, bro. Like, hey, I'm just the boss. I don't control those things.
The cafeteria
for you
might be closed.
Right. I'm just saying, bro. Like y'all you got one, like just like Bill Belichick, do your job. You got one job. Don't do more. Don't do less. Just do your one thing I need from you. So that's all I'm gonna say.
We quoting Bill Belichick. That's where we at now.
I mean, he's the GOAT, but that's a different sport.
All right. So moving on to open mic. Really, really excited to announce this. So if you listen to the episode, you hear first, you get first access and entry. We are doing a Beat the Host tournament challenge on the ESPN app. I will be sharing the link on our social media. So all of us across both shows are going to create a March Madness bracket for the men's tournament. Whoever the highest scoring person, whether you beat us or you don't, there's only one winner. You are going to win a Victory Lane Vibes prize pack. We can reach out to you, get your shirt size. I don't know if we can put a hat in it or something, but we're going to make it juicy. The streets want the merch. This is the first way I feel like we can do it safely before we offer it up to get your custom orders. So I will be sharing that on Twitter and on the Facebook page, on the Threads page, on the Instagram page. If you follow us, follow us. When you listen to us, make sure you follow us on Spotify and Apple Music as well. Apple Podcasts, I should say. But we got something for you. I don't know if I can say March Madness without getting a cease and desist letter, but we're doing a Beat the Host challenge.
Beat the Host.
I
want to beat Jerry and Carl so bad.
You won't. It's going to be like that time we played F1.
Yeah, whatever.
I left you in the dust.
You cheated.
I really hope somebody beats me because I've been cooking these last couple of years in
Yeah.
this bracket challenge. I don't miss much.
You were burning
I feel
kitchen.
like we can't. I feel like we can't call it that. I'm gonna go back in and beep the
Beat the
double
host?
M.
Yeah, I
No,
don't think we call it
the
either.
double
Oh,
M
yeah.
references. So
I
maybe
don't.
we gotta call it the. I'm looking at
I said
I'm
beat the
looking.
host challenge. We beating the
Did
host.
you? But did you say blank 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 like the double M word that it's called? I don't want to say it
I
because I
said
don't want
I
to
don't
seem
know if
weird.
we can say it.
All right,
You know,
let's just call it.
we still haven't paid Liberty the F1 bill from us doing that episode with Braden, so we already
That
in debt
goes
up
to
to our eyes.
well, that goes to Arkansas. That's not to my address, so that's none of my business. I was gonna say we call it like I'm on ChatGPT looking up alternatives to
I don't want to
that
do the
phrase.
alternatives to that phrase.
I'm just saying hoops hysteria is right there for the taking. It's right there for the taking.
Beat the host for the tournament that's being played for the next 4 weeks on your television across the Paramount networks. Shout out One Shining Moment. Shout out Luther Vandross. Well, no, I can say March Madness because it's a future song. I can just say it's future.
Wow,
That's enough to
really?
make it real for me. Yeah.
Too late, buddy.
Whatever that means. No, we're still here. We still with it. Let's see what else we have for open mic. I feel like is there anything else anybody else wanted to share, say, bring up?
I just want these roaches out of my replies tonight, but that's it.
Don't say that because
I
they
just got
changed
two
their
more.
bio. They changed their bio to that.
We're gonna edit this out. That's fine. I say that, although every time I've said we're gonna
You've
edit
chosen
something
violence
out, it gets
every time
kept
you've
in.
said
So
that. Yeah, you've chosen violence every time.
I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna take the mic. I'm gonna just say, you know what? We all love auto racing. Why don't we just not be assholes to each other? Like, can we just be a little bit better? Like, and I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I don't pop off on Twitter, but for the record, I never started. Okay, they always come at me. But let's just all be a little bit better people, right? Like, let's just.
And that's the thing. Like, if we're just having a simple conversation, there's literally no reason to jump in and just immediately be ready to fight, especially if you don't follow the person, never interacted with them before. That just tells me you're bored and need better hobbies. And doing it while you're at a race is kind of weird too, because you should be
That's
watching the
kind of
race that you
crazy.
paid for. But that's just my opinion.
And I'm just gonna say, I just want to say also, just real quick, that when someone, what's the saying? It's like when someone shows you their character, you got to believe them.
Right.
I just feel like that is a moment where you really can show who you are, and then of course, it's always just jokes. It's just jokes. It's just jokes.
There's
it's just
nothing
fun,
funny. Nobody's
but
laughing.
like what's to quote some racist dude who said he was making a joke about Bubba. Tell me what's the joke.
Right.
Where's the
I'm
joke?
waiting for the funny, and as of like 5 hours since I replied to that dude, he's not responded. So
he just called us all soft. He didn't reply to anyone specifically. He just called us all soft.
He just generally called us soft. And I'm generally going to pull up to your address, sir. This is the internet. I can find out where you live.
We're just going to pull up with Bubba flags. That's what we're going to do. We're going to decorate your house in Bubba memorabilia.
I'm not going to tell y'all how much I spent on this Lido shirt I'm wearing, but I would gladly buy 6 to paint your windows with it.
I will give you my die
duct
cast.
tape.
Die cast.
Duct tape. We going straight Toyota
all the
partner.
Die-casts are going to make the requirements because we're going to buy them all and put them in your front lawn.
Vontae said, "I'm gonna deliver these die casts straight through your window too."
I'm gonna buy you some rocket ships because they own the car.
We're gonna wrap them up and we're gonna play some real nice. That's what
I'm gonna get you some F-35 fighter jets because Air Force own the car. I'm gonna get you some money line referral codes because they own the car.
Shout
I'm
out
gonna
to
get you
Moneyline.
some motor oil. I'm gonna get you some motor oil because they own the car. Shout out Mobile One. I'm gonna get you a Mack truck diecast because we drive Mack trucks.
Right.
And I'm gonna get you a couple copies of 2K24 because it's still in the car. So don't play with us.
That's kind of sick. I don't know. I kind of want this prac now. That's kind of sick.
No, for real.
Don't play with us, man. Like this, we in this, bro. Like we hardcore fans that bring more fans to the sport.
Like it's interesting to see how the attitudes just in the last few years honestly have changed. And I feel like for the most part, the fandom is a lot better. It's just these like, 3 or 4 people every week that want to start stuff and, get people riled up for attention. And I feel like they're starting to get phased out, and people are also starting to realize how annoying that gets when people are just like trying to have a normal discussion and you got to jump in and be all weird. Like it's not even that, it's, antagonizing. It's just that people are kind of just fed up with that, which is good because they should be fed up with that, and we need to drown people like that out. So I will say I applaud everyone who did, with everything that happened tonight. I appreciate everyone who checked on me and also just like tried to defend me. But in general, I will say that the people who follow me like have been really, really cool, and I appreciate that. So I think the tide is it's turning, but we still got some work to do. But we'll see.
Tell your friends, bring your friends. We are very open and very welcoming here at Victory Lane Vibes.
Yes, sir.
Join us. Join us.
Join us.
Other than that, I don't know if we got any of those. Art, you got anything else? Monte? There's more coming, but I can't say it yet. We gotta wait.
I'll just say very briefly. There was a lot of horsepower discourse.
Yes, that's what I meant to bring up. The horsepower. We started that conversation last year.
A whole lot of horsepower chatter, and all I can say is, welcome to the party. Come on in. We got coffee on this side. We got cakes on that side. We've been well set up, and you're more than welcome. It's a big tent. We got plenty of space. Like. The Vibes horsepower train has been riding for a minute, and I'm just glad to see more people on it. And I hope
literally named an episode after it.
I just want to see more people join. So if you're, first time listener, recent listener, and you're like, you know what? I'd like these cars to go a little bit faster. I'd like these cars to be a bit harder to drive. We right there with you, fam. You come on in. You home, bro.
The best place for it. Since the All-Star race is when they like to try, body underglow and reverse numbers, take the spacer off. If the lap times are 2 seconds faster since the repave, why don't you take the little plate on that car and see what these things can do? We know you're going to bring a tire that's going to break down like sand, so let's go at it. Let's take Art's idea from last week and have 10 lap, 31 lap stages, and let's go.
I will stand to the end of the time that if Phoenix made 31 10-lap segments with a 2-lap shootout, it'd be the most must-see TV of the regular season. That's all I'm saying.
Let's get weird.
I stand by that. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it. It's been
stand on business.
I know, I gotta show you how to do it. Anyway. On that note, I think that's it, Jared.
All right, if that's it, appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you guys for being devoted listeners. Tell your friends, bring your friends. We have a very big week coming up. This is not going to be the only time you hear from us. I know I say it often, but I say it truthfully. Sometimes shooters shoot. And let's just say that the emails have been answered. So I'll leave
we only tell it if it's real. Like, we will never be like, oh yeah, we got something we're cooking, and like we actually don't. Like we got you. So
we don't do that. We don't do that here. When the confirmation is there, when it's on the calendar, we're in the cooking. We're in the kitchen with the chef hat on, and it's a hot
sir. I'm cooking it.
And nope. End the show. Cue the music. We are done. This man just lied on national radio 2 weeks in a row. We appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for listening. Play us out. Give me my music, man. This is egregious. 2 weeks in a row. How dare you? The audacity.
I had to.